Hey guys, it's Christine. That's the sketch I'm doing today from 30 Days of Sketches, and this is the paper collection. It's K & Company's Antique Garden. My original thought with this collection, I was building like a how to kill a kit with style type thing, so I just bought the papers. Those are the photos that's back from my daughter used to model, so it's just from a little photo shoot. Anyway, I had thought to build like this kill a kit type thing with just all these kind of papers, and I started with the papers because I thought they were just gorgeous, and those are pretty new, I think, because I just bought them. But then I was building a kit around those papers. I have to confess, I messed up, and today's video is actually for yesterday's 30 days sketch. But I had all these grand plans when I went to my retreat to do like 6 or 7 layouts, and y'all, I got 2 done. I was just pulled into too many directions and just didn't get done what I thought I would get done. And if I'd got done what I thought I would get done, then I wouldn't be in trouble. And I say in trouble. I wouldn't be a day behind on the sketches because I would have made videos and layouts or whatever for the most current day. But as it stands, I did my first layout was for my hop yesterday on Sunday. And for today, Monday, the 21st, I did this layout here, which was technically the 20th, not thinking about it. And I thought, no big deal. I'll just do the 21st too. It's not going to be a big deal. And then I never got another layout done. So I'm so sorry. Today is actually the 20th sketch, even though today's the 21st. So now what I'm going to have to do is end up skipping the 21st sketch in a video and then just doing the 22nd. So I'm so sorry. I hope it's okay. So what I've done so far on the layout here is I went ahead and I'd cut the papers down off camera according to the sketch. And so basically that's like I want to say that's a 10 by 8 maybe on the orange. And then I had those old like border strip looking things. They're pre-cut, which is kind of neat. And I think it's Doodlebug. I know Basil had some too as well, but that's Doodlebug. That was those little border strips, and I just used those on the big square there. And then I actually had this branding strip I cut off that had a pretty little floral pattern on it, and I put that on the top, again, as per the sketch. I contemplated a thing on the bottom, and I decided against it. I'm sorry I'm getting noisy here on the background, but I'm pulling out the layout because I'm, as usual, when you're trying to make one of these little screens so tiny, and I want to make sure I'm telling you correctly. Yeah, so I didn't put any pattern paper on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that whole little contraption there to my paper, my green. I thought this all went really well because, and actually I had even picked out the photographs. Like I said, I was kind of building this as like a little page kit. And in fact, this particular retreat, that's what I did because I thought, okay, I'm going to be really efficient and I'll build all these page kits. And I had my sketches and I had my photos and I had my papers. So to be honest, I am set up for the next few days because like I said, I set about 6 or 7 layouts together and then didn't get to but 2. But anyway, so I had the photos picked out and I already knew kind of generally what I was going to do. And I thought the papers and the photos just went really great. So now I'm just trimming down the photos just a tad. I think I made them a little shorter. I don't remember now because I print them off of myself in their 3x4s. And, oh, you know what? I was actually just measuring those things. I'm off camera. I did, I had a different little setup. Yesterday's video, if you listen to it, I was actually still at the retreat doing the recording, and you could hear all the birds and the wind, and it was really pretty outside. It's just so gorgeous. I'm here in Texas, and yesterday's weather was just, it was just to die for. It was so beautiful. So, I'm sorry, but I was just going to say my workstation's not my normal, so I don't have my little washi tape little borders. I've tried to stay on the mat here, but I kept finding myself moving that mat around. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I need to move this mat to where I can do something. I was just pleased I was able to get my camera set up because honestly, y'all, I started to set that thing up upside down. The camera has like a little phone holder pinchy thing. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just holds your phone. And darned if I didn't try to attach it to the desk with that darn phone holder. It was upside down. It was wrong. And I didn't even realize it until I started trying to use the clamp. I flipped it around to try to use the clamp, and I realized I had the darn clamp trying to hold the phone. Oh, y'all, it's early in the morning yet still. Okay, so I'm just matting my photos here. I've got two photo mats. I use the yellow, which I don't know. I don't think that was the back of anything. I think that's a whole new sheet of paper. Or it might have been a scrap. I'm not even certain. Oh, it couldn't have been a scrap. I just cut into this thing. I don't know. I must have cut another sheet of paper. And then I decided the navy blue was the good photo mat. Now, the way the sketch actually showed, it actually showed 5 photos, like 3, no, excuse me. It had 1 in the middle. It showed 3 photos. Y'all, I'm so crazy. I'm not looking at the sketch because I threw the sketch away. It had like a 4x6 in the middle and then 2 smaller ones on either side of the photo, the big photo. And in this case, of course, I'm doing these 3 photos. And I initially thought I'll do two little squares on either side of these, but then I ended up just doing the one in like a wooden photo frame. And I was really pleased with my little wooden photo frame. I didn't even realize it till I flipped it over to put glue on it. But actually on the back side of that, if you look, I think I actually am showing the back on the layout because the other side of it has like you and me or something like that. And I guess it was meant to be used for like, you know, a lovey-dovey layout or something. But I had flipped it to where the birds were on the left because, well, I thought it looked good that way. So I'd actually attached this little journaling card. It says, live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly. I thought the colors went well. I just thought it was kind of a neat little accent piece here. So I've glued that to that little wood frame with just some Nuvo glue, and I'm going to trim that off with my scissors. I think I do take my, I took my little sanding tool, and thankfully I think to bring it in camera just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just kind of sanding the edge to match along the edge of the little wood Polaroid frame there. And I'm trying to figure out where I want this to go. The birds, because they are like cut through, you can see through them. I want a color to show through it. In my mind, I'm going, I really want this green to show through. So I got to figure out how to do it. And at first I stuck the Polaroid wooden thingy on the right-hand side because, again, the sketch showed 2 square photos underneath the bigger piece. But then I decided, no, I went on that left-hand side. It looks better over there. I guess because those birds, the little birds cut out, I wanted that to show a different color through it, and it just worked better on the green anyway. I just felt like it showed better. So now I'm just going to take a little Nuvo glue. I'm going to glue this down. I actually think I don't remember now. I wasn't paying attention because the cat jumped up here on my desk. I think I put a little tape, and then I decided to glue as well. So I'm going to put all that down, and then I just kind of get all that glue out of that peeky hole there. The sketch showed like floral clusters on either side, and then this title in the center. I'm not going to lie. I'm not one of those that, I don't do a lot of, quote, symmetrical scrapbooking. I do, I think things are balanced, but I don't do like a square on one side, a square on the other side. Not generally speaking. That's just not how my brain usually works. So the florals on either side, and that's actually why I ended up, I think, with this little bit different kind of, it's an interpretation of the sketch that's not exactly the same, but I really like how it turned out. So I had these neat punch outs from Adorn It. And I don't think Adorn It's around anymore. This has been probably 10 years I bought this Adorn It collection. It was called like Home Tweet Home or something like that. It had a bunch of bird motifs. And I got that because the papers had a lot of birds and things like that. I pulled that out to go with it. And the colors were pretty good. So I kind of built myself a little florals cluster on the right. I had that one punch out thing there that's red that I thought about maybe using on the right hand side because, again, the sketch called for like a thing on each side, and then I just decided against it. I didn't care for it. So I'm pulling out all these flowers, building out these little clusters, and I got this little bird here, and he goes on top of the flower actually. And y'all will see me in a minute. I do come along with foam tape as usual. So when I stick these things on top of each other, they're going to end up being 2 different levels, as it were. And there's really no good reason for the birds, technically. I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with the picture, except for the fact she's outside. So anyway, I'm building up this cluster. I do find this other real big blue bird over here. The punch-outs are not, they do end up with the little tags or the little, I don't know what those are really called, if there's an official name, when you punch something out and where it was kind of still attached to the main paper. So I do have to use my scissors and kind of trim off the little paper, I don't know what you might call that. Again, some kind of little paper booger. I trim that off. But I'm just building out the little flowers around it, going back through the little pieces. I thought about maybe some of the stickers. I do end up using a couple of stickers, but not in these clusters really. So I'm just looking at them, looking for things that might work, and I'm not really finding anything there at this point. Now, at this point I'm also still kind of thinking about the title, because in the sketch the title's in the middle, like underneath the photo. And I really didn't know what to call this, really. I didn't want to call it photo shoot. I didn't, I was really just kind of thinking on that. There was that one other like corner cluster looking flower thing. I had pulled it out, thought maybe in the upper left, but again, that wasn't per the sketch, so I decided against it. So at this point, I've decided I've like where things are, so I'm going to start gluing stuff down. I've got my cluster on that lower right built out, my little wooden thingy with all the few little extras around it. I'm kind of done with that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing stuff down. I still hadn't figured out at this point about the title. Now, I'm hopeful you can see in the video. I'm not sure you can see in the video, but there is printing on the orange paper. Stuff like I'm looking at it, and it says like full bloom, enjoy, new beginnings, laugh, flourish. And in the middle, under that middle picture, it kind of says my darling. And that kind of caught my eye, and I kept seeing it, but I was like, okay, I got to put a title there. I'll come back to that in a second, and I'll tell you what I do. But basically, I've got foam tape, and I've basically put it underneath the birds. I've put it under a couple of the hearts, a couple of the flowers, and some of the flowers are getting glued down just with Nuvo glue. I'm just making my way around my clusters. On the little wood thing, I do glue a couple of, like a flower and a heart to it with some Nuvo glue. I thought about putting that little heart up on foam tape, and I thought, no, you're already up on a piece of wood, Polaroid thing, so it'll be way too hot in here, and it's going to be too thick in your album. So anyway, I'm making my way through this little floral cluster, gluing stuff down. I'm going to cut away, though, because that takes too much time for y'all to sit there and watch it. So now everything's basically glued down except this bluebird, and the little bluebird is going to be the last thing I put up on my foam tape here. And then I'm going to go, again, I'm looking again in a second for my title, and I still hadn't figured it out. And then I think, the My Darling is just, it's right there in the middle. It's kind of neat. And I thought, what, there's these little brackets on the sticker sheet, and I'll pick it up in a second, I think. I think I do that. Yeah, I think, what, I'm going to use these little brackets. No, I haven't done it yet. Y'all, I forget when I do this. It's toward the end, I guess. Well, then I do have this little metal paperclip looking thing. I think it's Prima, if I'm looking at the labels there. And I put it up there, and I think about moving it around. I think I take it off and move it around a little bit, think, oh, maybe on the photo or maybe on the bird. It still ends up back up where I started it. It goes right back up there. That is really not even per the sketch, to be honest. But I just think that little musical note is kind of cute. I like that little paperclip. I'm not sure what you do that. I don't know if that goes on paper. I guess it could go on scrapbook layouts because I bought it for that. Maybe they use it on cards or something. I don't know because there's so many of them. But I thought it was kind of neat. Now this is where I decide I'm going to take just little jewels and kind of sprinkle them around. They're just clear diamond color. They're not really, there's no color to them. I didn't put enamel dots. I think I just had these in my little box of, this wasn't even my quote page kit that I had put together. I just got into my box of shinies and decided to stick those laying around there. But again, I haven't figured out this darn title. I'm sitting here looking at it going, I need a title. I mean, I brought a font, right? I have that font there. I think that's a Doodlebug. Of course, those are bigger letters, so I can't really spell a big word if I do something like that. And I just don't know what to call this. I don't, like I said, I don't want to call it photo shoot or something like that. I guess I could, but I didn't. And so this is where I've decided I'm going to use these little brackets and just highlight the printing of the words, My Darling. I hope that's not considered a cop-out. Those words just kept catching my eye, and I really liked them. So I thought, what, I'm just going to make that my title. I'm just going to bracket that so that looks like the title. And so that's what I decided to do instead. And then I tore that darn little bracket, that sticker there, so I have to glue that down. Not a big deal because, of course, glue fixes most everything, right? But that's the layout, pretty much anyways. Again, sorry I'm a day behind now. That wasn't intentional. I just recorded only one other video. This is the one you got. So this is the 20th on the 21st. Have to do myself a little Band-Aid there because it wasn't sticking because the paperclip, I guess. I'm going to slow it down, kind of pull it up to the camera so you can see it. That's the layout as it is. Thank you guys so much. I will have day 22 up tomorrow so that you can be back on track. And here's the close-ups. Thanks so much. We'll talk again soon. Bye.